In this video, we're going to be looking at some examples where we're actually going to classify the polynomial functions by degree and by its number of terms. And that are the two ways that we can classify polynomials. So we're going to be talking about first just degree 0 through 5. And so if I have a degree 0 function, the name using the degree is going to be called constant. So an example, a polynomial example would be 7. That has degree 0. Another way I could write this is x to the 0 power. However, we know x to the 0 power is just 1. So in simplest terms, we would just write 7. Now, our polynomial example here has one term, and as we saw in that previous video, a polynomial with just one term is called a monomial. Okay, a polynomial function with degree 1, on the other hand, is called a linear function. An example of that would be 2x plus 1. And remember, when it's just an x here, there's really a hidden 1 exponent there. However, we don't write it because x to the first is just a x. So that's why we just see 2x here. Now, this polynomial has two terms, and a polynomial function with two terms is called a binomial. Degree 2 is called quadratic. So an example of that one would be negative 5x squared. Here in my polynomial example, I only have one term, so again, that would be called a monomial. So if I were to classify negative 5x squared, I'd say this is a quadratic monomial. Degree 3 is called cubic. An example of that one would be 4x cubed minus 2x squared plus 6. So here I see that I have three terms, and a polynomial of three terms is called a trinomial. So I would classify this polynomial as a cubic trinomial. Degree 4 is called quartic. An example of this one would be 3x to the 4th minus 8. This has two terms, so again, that is a binomial. And a 5th degree polynomial is called quintic. An example of this one would be negative x to the 5th plus 4x to the 4th minus 2x squared plus 7. Now this one has four terms, and we don't have a special name for a polynomial of four terms, so we would just classify this as polynomial of four terms. So if I were to classify this polynomial, I'd say a quintic polynomial of four terms. Okay, let's go through some examples. Here, I'm going to first write each polynomial standard form, then I'm going to classify it by degree and number of terms. So looking at number 1, I have 7x plus 3x plus 5. I want to put this in standard form, so standard form meant I wanted my highest degree monomials first to lowest degree last. Here I see I can actually combine two terms, 7x plus 3x, and when I combine those, I get 10x plus 5. Which is in standard form. So first, classifying this by degree, I see my degree here is 1 because I just have an x. And looking at my table, that means it's linear. And it only has two terms, so that means it's going to be a linear binomial. Okay, next one, I have 2x squared minus 3 plus 7x. I want to first put this in standard form. My highest degree is the x squared, so that's going to be my first term. My next is 7x, then minus 3. Classifying this by degree, I see the degree of this polynomial is 2 because that is my highest degree. And degree of 2 is called a quadratic. And then there's three terms, so this is quadratic trinomial. Next one, I have 5x squared plus 3x cubed plus 1. First, I want to put this in standard form. So my highest exponent is the 3, so that needs to be first. My next highest is the square, so that's going to be next. The degree of this polynomial is 3 because that is my highest exponent, and degree 3 is called cubic. And again, this one has 3 terms, so it's going to be a cubic trinomial. Next one, I have negative x cubed plus x to the 4th plus x. My highest degree is 4, so that's going to go first. My next highest is 3, and then 1. Here, my highest exponent is 4, so it's going to be a degree 4 function, and that is called quartic. And it has 3 terms, so it's going to be a quartic trinomial. Number 5, I have negative x to the 5th. There's only one term, so this is already in standard form. It has degree 5, so that's quintic. And it's only one term, so it's quintic monomial. And then looking at this last one, I say my highest exponent is 4, so I have negative x to the 4th. And then I have 2 terms with x squared, so I can actually combine those two. And so 2x squared plus x squared, I get 3x squared. And so here my highest exponent is 4, which means this is quartic. And I have 2 terms, so it's quartic binomial.